How's it going, everybody? Rob here, back with another video, and well, we are going to do a another reaction of June the King, looking at one of the Boogie 2988 videos. This is from massive to passive, so should be interesting. I gotta say, in terms of like June the King's videos, it's always entertaining, and he puts a lot of work into these like little documentary videos. So without further delay, let's go ahead and get right into this.
Boogie 2988, one of YouTube's eldest channels, has prospered through the years as a perceived rational convoys of YouTube, starting by winning over the hearts of many with stories of hardships and wild rage skits that helped firmly establish him on the platform.
Okay.
But more recently has been questioned on his rationality, mostly due to his talk.
I'm gonna say this. By the way, I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure I have this version of the Master Sword. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's the same one. I know there was some controversy like a few months ago with him faking cancer and stuff, but I don't know if this covers that. I think this is one of the earlier videos. So anyway, let's go ahead and continue.
Toxicity on livestream and alleged verbal abuse and manipulation. Overall, massive contrast of what he used to represent, with his beginnings on YouTube almost happening parallel to the popularity of the site. Though many find it difficult to pinpoint exactly what brought him down, whether it was his separation, a surgery, or an inability to adapt. To attempt to find out, and to give a fair analysis, we must start from the beginning of YouTube itself. Right after YouTube's inception in 2005, came a wave of confusion as to what purpose the platform was to serve, with it being a video hosting website while also sharing traits from the social media website MySpace, such as the ability to add friends, share groups, and send private messages to the other members. Some people joining to witness this new virality of videos, and others to share a piece of themselves online, which is where Boogie 2988 comes in. A YouTube account created by a 31-year-old Stephen J. Williams on April 5, 2006, as he explored the more social aspects of the website, even linking his MySpace within his page. This account was primarily made with the motive to keep track of his subscriptions as—
Oh, I'm sorry. I know I shouldn't pause, but oh my gosh. Like, I look at the screenshot and you see the Kiwi video. That video is so freaking sad. It really is.
As he did not see himself as a content creator, but a mere 2 months after the creation of the account, saw Boogie's first video uploaded on July 21st, 2006, titled Promiscuous Girl, Fat Guy. Coming in at a length of 21 seconds was a simple video of Boogie making exaggerated movements and faces while dancing to the song Promiscuous Girl. Not only was this YouTube's first taste of Boogie, but also the beginning of Boogie's self-deprecating videos, with the focal point being his weight and his acceptance of it. Though not all videos shared a similar theme, as over the course of 2 years came a string of scattered improvisational videos, some filmed with a PlayStation 2 iToy camera taking place in his home where he filmed random rants consuming copious amounts of food, but most earlier videos taking place at the Gallery of Champions, a collectible store located in Fayetteville, Arkansas, where Boogie, while working, filmed skits with his co-workers and customers to then be uploaded online. Audience-wise, Boogie accumulated a small following of around 150 subscribers, some coming from a video titled The Incredible Bulk, where he rips his shirt off exposing his body mass. It should be noted that the average comment was not one of support, but rather shaming him on his physique. He then had a second semi-viral video, where the focus, similar to his previous video, was on his weight, where with coworkers used a suction on a toilet plunger on his exposed stomach. This video, titled Gut Plunging, was uploaded on February 8th, 2008.
Weird.
Though these gained some viewership, they did not help establish him. It was his upload of an optical illusion gift that he found on the internet that finally gave him some headway. It should be noted that at the time, viral videos only needed several thousand views to be considered as such, with the more popular videos ranging in the hundreds of thousands of views. Boogie's videos fitting into both categories. Following this, Boogie was welcomed into the newly established YouTube Partner Program, which he turned down, thinking it was a scam. Shortly after, there was a transition in content where Boogie created less incoherent videos to more personalized videos by addressing his audience directly, as seen on his very first update video posted on May 9, 2008, where he addressed the comments attacking his weight and how he disregarded those, as he stated he was comfortable with his size and understood that his disdainful comments were usually accompanied by extremely supportive comments by viewers displeased with the abundance of harsh criticisms, which, regardless of the constant attacks on his weight, remained optimistic, something his fans became fond of.
I mean, it did seem like, I mean, with earlier videos, I mean, look, in terms of, like, having, like, you know, extra weight, I mean, dude, it sucks. It really does. And when you become a public figure, I mean, you have to roll the punches. And one thing I've noticed over the years of recording videos and stuff like that, I know I've said this numerous times, but you have a bunch of people who have a following. They get flack for making a misstep or making something public that they shouldn't have made public. And eventually it leads to them trying to do a double take, to backtrack and try to shame people for catching them on some of their bad behaviors, even going as far as to claim that you're harassing them, even though really you have no interaction with them really, and you're just commenting on their content and their actions. That's all you're doing. And at this point, especially when it comes down to, like, you know, for instance, Boogie, where he knows, you know, when it comes to his weight, I mean, he has a lot of weight. So, to an extent, the better solution, especially when it comes down to, you know, dealing with the cruelty of the internet, is basically just, you know, rolling with the punches, not letting them get to you, I think is what I'm trying to say. Is basically just, you know, create your content, create the things you love, you know, enjoy the company of the fans that watch your channel, and ignore those that want to try to put you down.
Post it right now. Let's hear it. Tell me how ugly I am. Tell me how disgusting I am. Tell me how I should be ashamed that I should just live in my house. Tell me I need to get a treadmill and I should get friends. Bring it on. The more you hate, the more I'm loved. Come on.
Yeah.
As his audience grew, so did his video views, totaling 514,000 by his 50-second upload addressing the growth of his channel.
So, according to YouTube, I've uploaded 51 videos in the couple of years that I've been a member. And in that couple of years, I've received 514,000 video views.
A growth he would see a lot more of in 2009, as not only did he reach his first 1,000 subscribers, but also had several appearances on television. Not in person, but rather television shows showcasing his popular clips. One clip on Infomania where Boogie talked about World of Warcraft, and several on the MTV animated show DJ and the Fro, a show that demonstrated strong influence from the MTV original TV show Beavis and Butthead, as well as Equals 3, a popular YouTube series hosted by YouTube sensation Ray William Johnson. With this upswing of views also came an upgrade of gear, like his new webcam and PC, of much higher quality than his previous build.
Yeah.
With him now producing much less nonsensical videos and substitute with his personalized videos and commentary or rambling videos akin to the popular
That was a cool
Call
layout
of Duty
poster.
videos that were also host to similar styles of commentary, with the only difference being the lack of video game footage. A common topic in these videos was the growing trolling community, where the more he mentioned them, the more attentive they became. But his indifference of them remained.
There's been a troll issue lately. You know, I made the mistake of mentioning the trolls a few times, of course, and that just makes them, like, come out of the woodworks like, oh my god, if we mention troll, you're like, oh, I get bad enough, maybe I'll get famous by
mentioning my name on that fat guy's channel, and it's not how it works.
He later purposely fed the trolls ignorant of his content style by filming multiple rant videos of his newly established character, Francis, a stereotypical nerd with a heavy lisp, short temper, and love for World of Warcraft, making it quite an easy character to attack.
So apparently a lot of people saw my previous video, and
I've always kind of wondered where that character kind of came from. And do I have it go there?
I posted it all over the place like it's some sort of joke. I saw it on the D&D 4th edition message board, and I don't really appreciate you guys making fun of me. You know, we're in this together, okay?
Though Boogie had other established characters at the time, none quite attracted as much attention as Francis, as these videos spread like wildfire, fooling those unaware of his true character, all originating from this video. These videos...
So that's, to an extent, that's how the Francis character came to be. Okay. I think I've seen one or two videos of the Francis character. So, entertaining.
overshadowed his regular rants and had a mixture of those knowledgeable of his character and those insulting him at face value, both contributing to his growth on YouTube, until, for a period of 18 days, Boogie's channel went without an upload. His next video, with much visible sorrow, explaining that he had lost his mother earlier that month.
Wow.
And, I don't know where to go from here. I don't really know what to do. So I'm just going to fall back on the same philosophy I always fall back on. Make the best out of every day.
Boogie pushed onward, and created a Twitch channel which he later streamed regularly to and continued making videos, with the ultimate culmination of his Francis skits coming in February 2010, where the character Francis gets his World of Warcraft character account hacked.
Sorry, I've been crying a little bit tonight. I'm just really upset. I don't know what to do. I'm just really upset.
Yeah, I'm kind of wondering if he's going to mention the Diablo video. I kind of want to see if he talks about that.
My Warcraft account has been hacked. And I didn't want to post a video about it. I just wanted to, because I was embarrassed, okay? And I told on my message board, on my the guild message board, I couldn't be on.
This video gained just enough traction to be featured in Ray William Johnson's series, Equals 3, and generated a shout out to Boogie.
Now for him, the disappointing truth about Francis is that he's trolling. He's a made-up character, and the guy who plays him is actually brilliant. So hats off to you, sir. But you know what else is brilliant? The comment question of the day, which comes from a username so electrified.
With Ray William Johnson having one of the biggest channels at the time, this brought much traffic towards Boogie's channel, much more than any television series that had included him prior. With this viral hit, YouTube for a second time offered Boogie YouTube partnership, which he accepted, allowing him to make a bit of money from his videos. He also jumped from around 5,000 subscribers to well over 20,000 in just a short period of time, which is where Des comes in. A fan of Boogie turned love interest, and after several back and forth messages online, visited Boogie for a week during June 2010. This visit energized Boogie into creating videos at a higher rate, which again provided a substantial boost of subscribers, with Des eventually moving in with Boogie on October of that year and encouraged him to begin losing weight. Overall, making 2010 a great year for Boogie, ending with 40,000 subscribers and 10 million total views. 2011 bringing the same results. His channel's viral videos mostly focused on Francis and capitalizing on the popularity of freak out videos that swept the platform during this time.
I'm gonna find it. I'm gonna find my goddamn Mountain Dew. Yeah, did you drink my Mountain Dew? Did you drink my Mountain Dew? Let me smell your breath. Let me smell your breath.
Easily doubling the size of his channel and allowing him to move out of his apartment into a house with his then girlfriend, Des, who later quit her job to assist Boogie, both with his nursing needs and channel-related activities. And unlike most other large content creators at the time, Boogie remained attentive to his fans, not just by giving advice on how they can improve their negative mentalities, but also how to overcome life's other difficulties.
I've answered about 3,000 emails, and I've gotten 10,000 more than that. Actually, probably more like 30,000, if I think about it. So I get on average about 100 pieces a day. And the ones that I do try to answer, and I'm sorry if I've missed yours, but the ones I try to answer are the people who really need help.
Now 2012, Boogie was able to afford pricier items for his skits that returned an even larger profit, with Francis now being the breadwinner of Boogie's channel. As for his other videos, such as this one on his personality traits, receiving less viewership.
We came to a disagreement, and in that disagreement, I was a complete prick. And that's something I think a lot of people here about YouTube don't know about me, because I try to put on this air of being super nice and super kind, and I try to put that on in real life too. When I deal with other people, I try to make them feel as comfortable and as welcome as humanly possible. If you ask most people I know, they're reasonably well liked, and I do a reasonable number of good things for a good number of people. But the skill set that I've learned is completely fabricated. I mean, I built it out of a box. Because many of you know I came from an abusive home.
Yeah.
And the skill set that I was originally given was poison. I learned not how to negotiate but manipulate.
I think that's like the story I've heard, is he was from an abusive household. Which I think, I mean, you never know what to expect, or like how to deal with that.
I learned how, not to be kind but to be cruel. I learned not to forgive but to judge. And those are the skills that I brought into my daily life, and they ruled me for the most part. But in the past 10 years or so, I've done what I like to think is quite an exceptional job of being a good person. I say that at one point I created that personality out of the lab, but as I practice that morality, and I practice that kindness, and I practice that niceness, it's who I've become.
With Boogie's videos doing ever so well in April of 2012, the same month that he hit 100,000 subscribers, Boogie signed up for the bi-weekly King of the Web competition, but immediately received much harassment from viewers of opposing channels. Even with these attacks being somewhat of a setback, Boogie won the competition, granting him upwards of $7,500 in prize money, with Boogie donating $1,000 of the prize money to the Child's Play charity, with charity-based activities becoming commonplace on his channel. Later, with finding comfort in YouTube and his life in general, Boogie proposed to his girlfriend that he had been with for 2 years via a YouTube video.
Aww.
Des, I'm asking you to marry me.
Which she said yes to. She was also someone Boogie's fanbase had become familiar with her role as Francis' sister in the Francis Rage series. And with this proposal video garnering a fair amount of views, Boogie kicked off a series of story time videos discussing different points in his life. Though Boogie had already been thorough when discussing his history and other aspects of his personal life in his many hour-long Q&As, these condensed storytime videos kept audience members interested and did well to give his audience insight to his life and hardships, such as his many ups and downs in life, from being a successful web developer to a less successful card shop employee to being mostly unemployed, which is when he came across YouTube. It should be noted that these videos did not outperform the Francis videos, but did gain decent viewership in their own right, with a large amount of support coming from the comment section. Also, as many other channels did at the time, Boogie created a gaming channel where at first only consisted of Let's Plays, but eventually transitioned to discussion videos typical of his main channel. In review, 2012 ended with what Boogie claims was one of the best years of his life, as he had lost 55 pounds as seen from updates from another alternate channel, Boogie Down 550. He'd also reached 250,000 subscribers on his main channel, was engaged, and had several paid promotions paying for his new equipment, like his brand new computer at the start of 2013. And even though these promotions were not such a common occurrence, they did stir up controversy in his later videos. Boogie also starred in traditional TV commercials, like the Volkswagen 2013 Super Bowl commercial featuring other internet celebrities. On the topic of internet celebrities, many succumbed to the newest YouTube trend known as Draw My Life, where the content creator, typically equipped with a dry erase marker and a whiteboard, narrated their autobiography with illustrations to accompany it. Boogie was one of these creators, with his Draw My Life story towering over others, detailing his accounts of many things, prominently the passing of his drunkard, cancer-ridden coal miner father. That death caused so much difficulty and sadness that he remained almost entirely isolated for 7 years of his life, and other accounts of his both extremely negligent and abusive mother. This was told with much sincerity and ended on a positive note.
But one thing is for certain. Right here, right now, in this moment of time, I'm happier than I've ever been. And I owe all of that to you. For watching my videos, for sharing them, for subscribing, for being part of my life. You've given me everything that sad little boy ever wanted.
This video did well to win over fans and newcomers that wanted to see more of Boogie rather than Francis. This increase of interest in Boogie saw an inverse of content popularity on Boogie's channel. Now his opinion-based videos and discussions were what people were subscribed for. An additional video this year was another TV appearance for the show Super Size vs. Super Skinny, where he was there to help show Joseph, a man on the path of becoming obese, the tribulations that Boogie had suffered through.
Joseph is about to meet Boogie, a supersized internet blogger.
Boogie to 988 coming at you through the power of the internet. I'm 39 years old, and I'm about 37 and a half stone.
This episode was filmed 2 weeks before Boogie's wedding, where later that month, Boogie was finally married to his wife, Des, and was committing to get a bariatric surgery to help with his weight loss. 2013 being another successful year for Boogie, getting him over 1.5 million total subscribers and a sponsorship from Sony to promote their newest gaming console, the PlayStation 4. But his biggest problem remained. From the time of the wedding to the start of 2014, he had gained back 52 pounds of around 67 pounds, totaling his weight to 552 pounds or 250 kilograms, delaying any chance of a surgery. Also, to the displeasure of fans, Boogie was taking less of an aggressive view on topics and was accused of pandering to his audience. But Boogie had a reason for this.
The problem comes down to one small thing. I'm happy. For the first time in a really, really long life, I'm actually genuinely happy, and I owe that to you. So yes, because I enjoy my Xbox One, I'm going to talk about the Xbox One in a positive way. Yes, if I offend you, of course I'm going to apologize, because I don't want you to have hurt feelings. I want you to be happy too. And yes, I'm enjoying life right now, so I'm going to talk about life in a positive way. So yes.
That's all you can do.
I have gone soft, and my content reflects it. If that makes me an asshole, I'm really happy to be that kind of asshole.
I mean, by the end of the day, granted, my channel is small. I mean, I do, when I finally get the opportunity to, I do the Let's Plays with MJ and Aden. The main content I produce is reactionary content and Let's Plays. And honestly, they don't get a lot of views, but I enjoy it. It's something that I enjoy making. And to an extent, it's something that, like a lot of other people, makes me happy. If people like my content, then, people like my content. But yeah, as I mentioned before, you have a bunch of content creators from then and now that look at some of the more popular, more controversial creators and try to emulate and copy what they do, which is not healthy, to say the least.
But his somewhat neutral views on topics would not save him from one of the biggest controversies of 2014, Gamergate. When game journalists such as Anita Sarkeesian criticized games for their depiction of women, her deceptive clips and her logicalities published in her videos enraged the internet. Some members going as far as to send her death threats.
Okay, so I'm gonna say this because I recently did a reaction to one of the Feminist Frequency videos. Is that those kind of actions, sending her death threats, sending her, rape threats, and etc., those people are so screwed up in the head. Just because, there is a proper way to respond to an individual that you disagree with. That kind of action is not okay whatsoever. It's not. I don't agree with Anita Sarkeesian when it comes to her content, but I'm not gonna, want her dead or anything because she said something bad about my about video games. If anything, if me and many others have done, we'll respond and give our own opinions on some of the things she says. Which, kind of going off topic a little bit. We looked at her video recently. A lot of it just seems like she's focusing on an ideal where it's only men playing the video games, that men get enjoyment from these video games, and not women as well. Not thinking that the possibility that some of these women have played these games and could care less what's in the content or what is presented in the game itself. Also, basically, disowning a variety of different female characters just because, in several games they're, damsel in distress. But anyway, going back on topic.
In turn, created groups of people on her side, and even larger groups against her. Commentators like Boogie would weigh in on the situation, where Boogie's opinion, as seen on a tweet logger, vouches for neither side, but instead against the extremities happening from this controversy, such as the doxing and general harassment of Anita Sarkeesian and game developer Zoe Quinn, as Boogie had not only been doxed prior, but also received very...
Okay, I'm going to say one thing, because the story with Zoe Quinn was interesting, considering that, allegedly, again, and by the way, we at Novakast do not condone, or we at Novakast do not approve of any form of harassment. Now, allegedly, and I'm using quotes, allegedly, the story was that Zoe Quinn was allegedly sleeping around with I think it was like publishers or journalists to get her her game promoted. Again, allegedly. If there's any details I got wrong, please let me know. But yeah.
Varying amounts of death threats from the internet, something common for a channel of 2 million subscribers, and found it easy to empathize with their situation. He also talked briefly about it in one of his videos.
I do plan to continue to make videos about some of the very important issues that were brought up during this thing, including integrity on YouTube, integrity on journalistic reviews and gaming journals, integrity when it comes to the trust that you and I have with each other. And that's always going to be very, very important to me.
There you go.
12 days after publishing that video, Boogie, along with 5 other public figures, were doxxed by an extremist advocating for the side of So Quinn, with the reasoning behind it being, quote, help encourage the idiots harassing women, unquote. Boogie, quick to react, acknowledged doxing and claimed the information was false, but these threats persisted.
Over the past couple of weeks, this has been really ramped up. I've had my public information doxed, I've had death threats, I've had people threaten my wife.
Though most comments that responded to this video were ones of support, the minority of people accusing him of playing the victim in tense situations was increasing.
So this video isn't about me. If you're the kind of detractor who wants to say, oh, Boogie's playing the victim card again, he just, fat piece wants attention. You know, I'm used to hearing it. The usual.
Yeah.
On the positive side, Boogie was still getting invited to many events, as he was able to present a category at the 2014 Game Awards. He was still doing financially well, as in the earlier months of 2015, earning enough to purchase a house with his wife and move in. And with his financial stability, could attend more conventions such as VidCon, which he also attended in 2016, but while attending, had run into an issue. Mysteriously, all the videos on his channel had disappeared. As fans later found out, Boogie had been hacked, as
that sucks.
the hacker was able to get his information from Verizon and bypass his channel's authenticator, where he delved into Boogie's other utilities, such as his PayPal, and attempted to withdraw money. The situation seemed dire, but in reality could not have happened at a better time, as Boogie was surrounded by various YouTube employees at VidCon, and sat down with one, initiating a process that took several hours that eventually allowed him to reclaim his channel's ownership. Had he been anywhere else, YouTube's slow reaction time could have saw his channel gone for hours, days, or even weeks until they had taken action. Another issue had arisen a few months following this. His videos, primarily the Francis ones, were getting demonetized and tagged as not advertiser friendly, as a cursing and aggressive tone throughout these videos triggered the YouTube review bots, starting a campaign of
I can only understand how frustrating that is. You know, oh my gosh, the freaking bots, man. Like every single time, like a new bot, and then something, you know, goes wrong with, you know, everything.
Demonetization throughout Boogie's channel. But on a lighter note, Boogie was still doing well and was popular amongst the gaming community.
Oh, that's
just
a cute
as
dog.
There were popular content creators for each of the subcategory themes on YouTube, with the largest content creators having desirable qualities. Boogie was the exception. Being overweight and fairly eccentric is what allowed his personality to flourish. Even with many aspects of his life working against him, he managed to pull through, which is what many of his fans adored about him, as he was the unofficial, calm, rational voice of YouTube, and his fans liked him enough to win the Trending Gamer of the 2016 Game Awards. There was even more good news coming in the following months, as Boogie inched closer to a gastric bypass surgery, a surgery that, if done, would reduce the size of his stomach to the size of an egg, with the intent being to lower his calorie consumption and allow him to finally lose a significant amount of weight. In between this announcement and the date of the surgery...
Oh, they're going to talk about it. Oh, they're going to talk about it, aren't they? Okay. I was kind of wondering about this. Because, I will say, I do want to react to a video from Sargon of Akkad, which is no longer on his channel, but I do have it on my computer. For some reason, I had the idea to save it on my computer, but either way, this was a video where Sargon talked about abusive behavior from Anis Sarkeesian, where he and a bunch of other content creators were sitting in the front row. Anita saw him and, right to his face, claimed, you know, just, by the way, and I guess supposedly it was supposed to be like a anti-harassment panel, and Anita Sarkeesian, you know, not having any, like, restraint, just going out of her way to basically call out Sargon of Akkad and call him a garbage human, while she's on stage on an anti-harassment panel. And I guess at some point she had another panel. Like a bunch of people were trying to convince VidCon, or the guys at VidCon, to reconsider her to be for the other panel, but they didn't listen. She was there, Boogie was there, and at one point he gives a response about privilege that she did not like, and she proceeded to harass him. So I'm kind of wondering, like I said, with them showing this, I'm kind of wondering if they're going to talk about it.
Boogie traveled to VidCon, where he found himself in yet another issue. While on an anti-bullying panel with other speakers, namely Anita Sarkeesian, Boogie was very cautious with his words, as he did not want to get confrontational with Anita.
And I don't see how this is a big issue, and she looks pissed. Like, she looks angry. But the point that he made, I mean, think of, whatever you think of Boogie now, one thing I will say that I appreciate him saying is what he said on VidCon, is that in terms of privilege, I mean, you can, like, no matter whether you're white, black, Hispanic, man, woman, etc., there is always the chance that you will get harassed. And it's not a women's issue, it's not a men's issue, it's not, skin color issue. It is a human's rights issue. And I do appreciate him for saying that. Again, whatever your current thoughts of Boogie is right now, I will say that was an appropriate response in terms of discussing privilege. And dude, I mean, looking at the panel, he's the only, male on the panel, if you really think about it.
But after a fairly cautious speech, and having one of the closing speaking points of the panel, Anita confronted Boogie, annoyed that she didn't have enough time to respond to Boogie's closing statement in that time constraint. Boogie, being unconfrontational, tried to win over Anita, which after a bit of talking ended with little progress made. Boogie then made a video discussing this event, and
because she's a bully. I mean, from a lot of the stories that I've heard, she's a bully.
Was accused of pandering to her and acting in cowardice against such a disliked figure, with others noting the irony of Anita bullying Boogie after an anti-bullying panel. He received much criticism from both sides, leaving this video as one of the most disliked videos on Boogie's channel, mostly due to his neutrality on the issue. So much so that he had to create a second video that calmed some of the criticisms of that situation. Although this situation was stressful, that was close to nothing compared to the hate he received from viewers.
We had somebody link me to the Tor network once, and someone put out $3,500 in Bitcoin to have someone assassinate us.
To add more to the mix, his upcoming weight loss surgery was delayed by nearly 2 weeks. But finally, on August 5th, 2017, Boogie returned to his channel with great news. The surgery was an overall success, with only a few complications, and was put on liquid diet, and expected many upcoming lifestyle changes. But some unexpected lifestyle changes were not for the better. Now Boogie's wife felt that he was healthy enough post-surgery to live without her assistance, and after a few weeks of her taking a break from the relationship, they decided to get a divorce. This being something typical for those that undergo weight loss surgeries.
So, it's always interesting, like, when I'm watching these, on and off in terms of drama, unless it's like something really crazy, I don't follow it. Like in recent time, like as you guys notice, like for the longest time, I've stepped away from the Onision stuff. I know he's going to court right now, but I can't be bothered with it. I'm trying to, make content that I enjoy. In the background, I hear about the Johnny Somali stuff. The creepy freaking, American dude, which, by the way, makes me feel embarrassed to be called an American. The creepy dude that goes from, Japan, and other countries, acting like a complete, just a complete idiot, being disrespectful to the people, disrespectful to the culture, and then when he gets enough flack, he proceeds to run away to another country, thinking that he's just going to keep doing the same thing over and over again. Last I heard, there's a good chance he's going to do jail time for drug use in Korea. So, I'm kind of waiting to hear about that, but either way. And then, of course, now that I think about it, the Logan Paul Forrest video drama, which honestly, in any other situation, that would have buried his channel. He would have been completely and utterly removed from the platform in any other circumstance. But unfortunately, he's one of the golden boys, so they let him keep his channel and just gave him a slap on the wrist, which again I think is very disrespectful, but that's just me. But anyways, what I'm trying to say is, normally in terms of some of the stuff that goes on with other creators, like on like social media and stuff like that, I don't have the opportunity to kind of look into a lot of the stuff that goes on. So when I watch some of the videos like this, where it's like a documentary of Boogie's life on YouTube, I'm always, I'll say it's always intriguing, and also kind of like I did not realize that I missed, I didn't know this. So I will say that's crazy. And and I'm kind of wondering if her marrying him was more out of pity. I'm not trying to be mean. I'm doing my best to be respectful, but that's what I'm kind of wondering.
And after Boogie had gone public with this, there was a mixture of reactions, some supporting his choice, and others condemning his wife. This situation almost marking the point of his downfall, where Boogie's response to this was that he was doing well, and claimed that his large support group of friends would help him get by any shortcomings. Some shortcomings not coming from his divorce, but rather YouTube, because most of his Francis videos, even those with minimal cursing, were massively demonetized. A consequence of this was less Francis videos, as YouTube were promoting them less, alienating a fair portion of his subscribers and causing him to lose a revenue stream from YouTube. But financially, he stated that he was doing well because he diversified his revenue streams, including taking on paid promotions alongside streaming on Twitch, but had a word of caution for those unfamiliar with his live streams.
I will warn you though, Twitch Boogie is very different from YouTube Boogie. YouTube Boogie is kind of the person that I've always wanted to be, the person I try to be every day. Twitch Boogie is like this almost Francis-esque character version of myself, where I just pretend to be outlandish, and I pretend to be silly, and I make all kinds of silly, stupid jokes, and I sing songs, and I'm just kind of weird and bizarre. It's one of the reasons I never advertised here on YouTube. I wanted to separate that version of my personality from this version of my personality, because they're distinctly different. And not everybody that watches me here will like me on Twitch, and not everybody on Twitch who watches me there is going to like me here on YouTube.
As his following on Twitch grew, his weight fell alongside it, losing around 175 pounds in the first 6 months of the surgery, which was about the average weight loss expected for someone his size and age. Also falling was his view count on YouTube. Not only was he producing less Francis videos, as they were not being promoted by YouTube, but also they were much more difficult to produce without the help of his now ex-wife or destructible items that were sure to be replaced in revenue from the video, though his viewership was still quite significant, where he used to get 300,000 to well over 1 million views in a video. He was now averaging around 200,000 views per video, with some going below the 100,000 mark. It was clear that fans' interest in Boogie was waning, and in replacement, interest from his eventual detractors was increasing. A sizable controversy while on the H3H3 podcast coming in June of 2018.
Like, I've always believed, hey, we should have same-sex marriage. I love same-sex marriage. Let's do it. But the problem is, try to get it done right now. There's going to be a huge backlash, okay? So let's try to do it in 20 years, in 10 years, and let's see if we can avoid the backlash, right? Let's just, slowly, methodically change minds.
Boogie's neutrality on the situation worked against him, as fans were infuriated at his foot-in-the-door policy and felt he did not feel strongly enough on the issue. More difficulties coming the following month, as he had fallen and broken his arm. He had also taken another dive symbolically from his resurgence of a rather forgettable clip from the same podcast.
Okay.
She's about 110. I think she's having some weight issues because she does camming and stuff for a living.
How old is she? How old is she? What's the age?
She will be able to legally drink soon.
This sent us curious about this woman into a deep search to find a connection to who he had been seeing, and eventually came across this sarcastic tweet in reference to the podcast from a cam girl known as Lucy Fox. Using key information from the podcast, viewers connected the strings, as she was both a cam girl and a couple months away from her 21st birthday, and was a member of the sugar daddy website, Seeking. After some more digging, viewers found Boogie's profile with some notable lines on his About page describing his situation, such as recovering from a divorce and gastric bypass surgery. I do social media for a living and make a killing. I travel, see the world, hang out with famous internet folk. I love what I do. And he was seeking, you should be cute, understanding, patient, kind, loving, caring, smart, funny, and nerdy is a plus. Once fans were certain that Lucy Fox was the woman Boogie spoke about, she was constantly pestered by fans asking for her confirmation that she knew Boogie. And after receiving thousands of questions, she posted a video to Reddit confirming that she was indeed that woman that Boogie spoke about, with this picture helping to further prove it. Some of the largest takeaways from this 13-minute rant being that she was not one of the hookers Boogie jokingly made reference to, as the relationship only lasted from late 2017 to the end of February 2018, and that Boogie was not at all how he portrays himself online, where in most of his videos, viewers take him as a calm, nice, collected voice of reason. But after her weeks-long exposure of him, she claimed she suffered much verbal abuse from that relationship. Also taking a slip in her career because, as she claims, Boogie guilted her into staying at his house to keep him company and listen to his issues, instead of going back home and earning much-needed money from camming. This somewhat confirming many suspicions about Boogie and his hidden manipulative, deceitful personality, with other viewer complaints about the recent videos he was producing, as his channel, since the divorce, was heavily scattered with somewhat somber stories about his life and ongoing issues, with a fair portion of these videos parodying each other, and those that were subscribed to him for Francis and his gaming videos were scarcely watching, so Boogie lost further viewership.
This channel has suffered, to some extent. Views are lower. I blame myself. I blame my content, I blame my consistency, I blame my whiny nature, I blame the stupid things I've said on podcasts and Twitter. I blame that as the mass majority of it, but it is hard to not see that there's something algorithmically or YouTube-wide happening.
A month after he uploaded that video, Boogie came across another controversy coming from a scandal involving Better Health, which was one of his sponsors, a website that provided online direct-to-consumer access to behavioral health services that portrayed itself as an alternate to in-person therapy by assigning the customer with a therapist online. But a good portion of these counselors had little to no credentials, with the website itself taking little accountability. Anyone caught previously sponsored by this website went through massive backlash for promoting them, and Boogie, not being exempt from this backlash, denounced the service and claimed to have donated the money earned from the sponsorship to a suicide prevention fund. But it got much worse from here, with minor issues like getting banned from a charity event for what the organizers claimed to be for his controversial affiliations. He also later had much larger controversies, starting with his interview with Kid Behind Camera, the channel responsible for the Angry Grandpa videos similar to Boogie's Francis videos, where many viewers claimed that there was abuse behind the creation of some of Kid Behind Camera's videos, and Boogie was meant to confront him on this, but instead released a subpar interview titled, Interview, Kid Behind Camera Exposed, giving an idea that this was a confrontational interview. But as many viewers later found out, the title was quite misleading, as fans complained that Boogie failed to delve into the allegations of abuse, mostly allowed a kid behind a camera to take control of the interview, and had oddly plays piano music in the background.
Man, are you abusive these kids? Well, first, I wasn't abused as a kid.
Oh, that's right.
I was.
Yeah, you're saying.
I was the golden child, right? So everything that Dad did for those grandkids, he wanted to give them what he couldn't give us. We had nothing growing up.
Okay.
And he wouldn't, we had nothing. And when we finally were able to have something, he wanted those kids to not, live without. Because we lived without so much, right?
10 days later, there was a similar scenario with his interview of Katie Morton, another controversial figure for her lack of professionality and misinformation in a video series analyzing Jake Paul. While these did much to annoy fans of Boogie, something most viewers could agree on was the annoyance of the constant posting of his problems, and now posted more commonly his discussions of his falling viewership and demonetization of videos.
So let's start off with the Friday with Francis experiment. 4 Fridays in a row, and the videos have done very, very well. I'm very surprised. They've done well in terms of views. When it comes to money, they are making no money. Somehow, YouTube has not given them the demonetization signal, yet they earn $0. I don't know if it's because I swear on the video, I don't know if it's the Francis keyword, I don't know what it is. But let's say I uploaded a video that got 200,000 views. That video would normally make me $200. That's just a ballpark. It's just, I'm just guessing here. Could be more, could be less, depending on the video. A Friday with Francis video that is at 200,000 views might earn $20 or $40, $60. Next to nothing.
With viewers drawing lines to infamous personas that often discuss the same topics.
I stay stressed, man.
Dark Souls.
I know if I don't make 20 subscribers on this stream, I'm gonna be down to 450. If I don't make 40 subscribers on the next stream, it's just I'm gonna continue to go down. I eventually got to get a sub train going.
This was about the time that Boogie2988 began to bleed subscribers, with his channel capping at 4.5 million subscribers by the end of 2018. with January of 2019 starting off similar to the previous years. But there was something crucially different this year. On the 26th of January, user Night Like a Day, a detractor of Boogie, began a criticism megathread of him, criticizing him on many things, such as Lucy Fox incident, his lackluster interview of Kid Behind Camera, and many other previous controversies, with some lesser-known ones being brought to light. Like this, while dated, distasteful comments on women, alongside how he coerced his wife into signing a non-disclosure agreement, which he later denied.
In my mediation, there's like a non-disparage clause, which I asked for, that she didn't ask for, I asked.
His general toxicity that he fails to portray in his videos, but is sometimes caught on stream.
It's switching out, bro.
Right, are your parents still alive, by chance?
Here we go, ready? Yeah, they are.
And are your parents still together?
No.
Okay, alright, so maybe I should take point then.
What?
Well, if your parents aren't together, then you probably come from a broken home, you're probably going to get real angry when you start losing, so...
I won last game, but that was my third game on.
Alright, well maybe you just learned how to channel that anger. Alright, I wish you luck, man, then. Good luck.
That's so weird.
What's that?
Yeah, I'm pretty much Batman, so...
On stream, and amongst other things, his possible manipulative tendencies. It should be noted that many of these points on post are worded with malintent, and with that wording helping provide much of the context of the clips and images, the criticism megathread is visibly and heavily biased. But that does not dismiss the evidence of his wrongdoings, and within the first month of being up, the post accumulated 3.5 thousand upvotes and had grown a sizable amount. A great bit of disapproval of Boogie also came from his ill-informed rants on Twitter, and his claims of disassociation were him causing an issue, failing to resolve it, arguing profusely, then apologizing the next day became a frequent pattern. On the YouTube side, he was still unable to find a successor for his Francis videos, though he was focusing more on gaming, which his fans initially enjoyed, but others growing increasingly frustrated at Boogie's fence-sitting or not standing with any specific side in order to try to please everyone, something that was not common on his Twitch, with his Twitch recently becoming a big source of contention, such as this clip on his weight.
And so if somebody says to me, well, Boogie, you're going to die in 10 years if you don't lose this last 50, 100 pounds, I'm like, hey, that sounds great, because I'll have a great 10 years, I'll eat what I want, and I'll die, and I'm looking forward to dying.
A channel by the name of Every Damn Day Fitness, or EDDF for short, commented on this clip in concern for Boogie's statement.
You need inpatient therapy, in my opinion, of course. You need to be admitted, because what you think is going to be a great 10 years could probably be 2 okay ones and just a few more really miserable ones before you die. And that would be a damn shame, and that's just my opinion on the matter.
Boogie then wrote this...
Yeah, it's an opinion, but it's not a diagnose, or... I mean... I don't know how to go about that, like, talking about that, because... I mean... I've seen it before. We have, like, random people on the internet, like, they you know, go out of their way to try to say, you know, oh, you need to do this, you need to do that. I mean, granted, you know, some of these people, I mean, yeah, they're living unhealthy lives, but it's unfortunately in any situation, or at least any form of care, it's up to the person in question that has a health issue, that it's up to them and their choice to, you know, take part in, you know, treatment. That can't be forced, and it can't be, I know, it can't be forced. Otherwise, you start, I mean, if you attempt to try to force a certain treatment with a person, they will have a negative reaction to it. So anyway.
This Reddit post addressing EDDF's video, where Boogie claimed that EDDF was simply trying to get clicks, and that if he really cared, he would have reached out through email or tried to contact Boogie in some way.
Yeah.
But unbeknownst to Boogie, he did. Also highlighting another point of disapproval for Boogie, which was the way he passively weaponized his fans, with the evidence being this line, where Boogie said he'd appreciate it if he took down the video and left him alone, and whether it was his intent or otherwise, his direct link to EDDF's video along with extreme disapproval allowed fans of Boogie easy access to potentially harass EDDF's video.
My question to Boogie about this, seeing as how I have no footprint on Reddit, I think I posted on there one time, I maybe made one comment on Reddit, how he thought that message was going to get to me. Was it that he was going to try to have the people from his subreddit come to me and make me take the video down? I'm wondering in what way he thought I was going to get the message that he wished I would take the video down, which Boogie that video is not taken down.
There were also further points made in this video, like how Boogie's continued poor eating habits were detrimental to his health overall being understandably not only because of his weight, but also his teeth, as growing up, due to the negligence of his parents, oral hygiene was not commonplace in Boogie's home, and did not learn about brushing teeth until elementary school, and when he attempted to brush his teeth, the pain due to his multiple cavities was too excruciating, so he instead opted for using mouthwash twice a day. A habit carried on to adulthood, where he had 14 points of infection in his mouth, until, in April of 2019, he had all his teeth pulled and had a fake set of teeth and gums put in, with his reveal of his new teeth being the first viral video in quite some time. Many of his veteran viewers chiming in on his new look, reintroducing many that had lost interest in the channel because though Boogie had 4.5 million subscribers at the time, a number stagnant since December of last year, he only got around 2% of those subscribers clicking on his videos. A number that dropped further from his next controversy, and possibly the tipping point that turned many people away from Boogie, the purchase of a $100,000 Tesla vehicle. It wasn't the purchase of the vehicle itself that perturbed fans, but Boogie's Twitter rant that accompanied it, starting with his complaints about his drop in revenue to his fear of his large purchase that he initially claimed that he could barely afford. This tweet was translated in two ways. One,
I think I did hear about this. I mean, it's like, dude, if you have money problems, why are you buying a Tesla? I mean, seriously.
Is that he was able to purchase a new vehicle, a luxury many people don't have, and two, he needs donations to cover the debt that he put himself in. With a backlash from this, Boogie quickly tried to backtrack, saying that he was, for now, financially stable, and could easily afford the car. With detractors calling manipulation and fans confused with his actions, Boogie discussed it further on Livestream, which only made things worse.
I tweeted out that I was not going to be able to afford this car.
Reddit and Twitter lost their minds. Oh, are you trying to manipulate people into giving you money?
The answer is yes. Give me some money.
To add further commentary on the issue, in July, Boogie uploaded this video where he test drives a friend's Tesla and claims he only made a down payment of $2,500 and hasn't purchased the vehicle but wants to in the future in order to promote his new vlogging/travel channel, making this the most disliked video on his channel in recent time, with the videos following this also being systematically disliked, with him losing upwards of 400 subscribers a day. Another money-related controversy coming this month as well, starting from a tweet saying that he would match donations dollar for dollar for a suicide prevention fund charity, but then lowered it to $10,000, which fans complained that was only 2% of Boogie's overall income. When asked why he went back on donating all of his money, he claims he was saving it to live off of until he kills himself. This shocked fans, but was also viewed as a ploy for manipulation. Boogie overall successfully creating a string of hate towards him, with these controversies picking up just as one died off, fans urging him to cease any radical opinions or comments that kept bringing up this unwanted attention. But he did not, because 1 month later he had this to say of his extreme detractors and harassers on stream.
They take something someone tweeted, something someone said, tries to make it look worse than it really is, for the purposes of just destroying somebody's life. If you are this person, and you know who you are, it might be difficult to reconcile that you are that person. But if you are that person, I ask you a favor. Please keep doing it to me. Don't do it to other people. Let me be a martyr here. Martyr me. I'm going to stay online. I'm going to stay alive as long as I can. I'm going to waste as much of your time as you can.
Oh, no.
I'm going to say as much, do as much as I can to keep your attention so you don't do it to somebody else. I'm here for you to torture me and only me. I'm going to make a living letting you torture me. I'm going to be the next Dark Side Phil. I'm going to be the next Wings of Redemption. I'm going to spend every day online to keep you busy so you don't do it to somebody else. So bring it. But I want you to know, I think you are the lowest of the low. I think you are the worst of the worst. I think that there are rapists and Nazis out there who, even though they are rapists and Nazis, they are more redeemable than you because at least they're doing something they believe in.
He later doubled down on this comment, this once again bringing attention back to Boogie. Even Keemstar, who last year was in support of Boogie, was also against him.
Boogie, we have spent our time and energy for months and months and months to help you because you were going through a hard time. We've went out of our way to help you privately, and you keep saying dumb shit. You keep saying or doing dumb shit that will cause people to call you out, make a Reddit post, make an angry tweet, unsub from your channel.
Yeah.
After all of this, Boogie took back his comments and was scarce with his presence on social media, where in a video posted in September claimed that the reasoning behind his actions was his mental space. In years prior, a video like this one might have received much support, but instead was scattered with comments exhausted with his excuses, repeat behavior, and self-proclaimed artificial YouTube personality. Being that his main channel was under attack, Boogie is now spending a fair amount of his time on his new alternate channel, Boogie Travels, where he mainly visits roadside attractions and theme parks. As for his main channel, the fall of it can be placed on several things. It could have been his poor management of his conflicting YouTube and Twitch ideologies, where on YouTube he claims to do so to give everyone a fair view and portrays a rational, calm, fair mediator, but on Twitch he is more wild and has toxic commentary, which makes him seem less trustworthy with his viewers because of the contradictions of his two faces. To some, as they claim, it's manipulative as he's been hiding behind his fake persona to hide his less favorable personality traits.
Good lord.
But to others, his split personality is irrelevant. It's his own behavior within the past months, with his small deplorable actions culminating in a massive expose, and his repeated failed attempts to calm the masses being another contributor to his fall. As challenging as it may be, Boogie could always recover with a different style of content with clear intentions, or fall back into a pattern of mistakes, rendering a comeback nearly impossible. Though one thing is certain, we have yet fully seen what fate holds in store for Boogie2988.
Okay. Oh my gosh. I gotta say, that was interesting. Oh my gosh, that was such a long video. But all in all, I mean, like I said before, I mean, in terms of the internet, I try my best to avoid, like, at least now, I do my best to try to avoid drama or what's going on with other content creators. It's ever so often where I will actually get invested in a story. I don't do videos on them anymore for the most part, but overall, my main content focus doing, reactionary content as well as Let's Plays. That is my goal for current content. But all in all, this was a very informative and interesting, little documentary video based on Boogie2988. So this was interesting to say the least. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and end the video here. Thank you guys so much for watching. Truly appreciate it. If you guys can, please leave a like, comment, share, subscribe, all the good stuff. If you guys want to follow us on social media, it's all in the description down below, as well as check out our daily content and the weekly podcast. With that being said, this is Rob Novakast signing off. Have a good one. Take care, and I'll see you guys next video.